Hi there. This company, GNS Group, or ticker symbol GNS, is the biggest scam I've ever seen. And let me explain why. Some people think that the stock price will go up a lot because of their strategy and what money they're expected to get from their lawsuits. Right now, the market cap is about 100 million. 103 million and the price $1.44. If you look right now, the stock price went up quite a lot. Now, what's the driver of the increase in the stock price? Well, they expect to get 1 billion from lawsuits. 2 lawsuits. 1 billion. Around 750 million from some directors of a company, LZG, and 250 million from naked short selling. Now, their plan, after they get this money, 1 billion, and pay attention to this, 1 billion. 1 billion, compare this with the current market cap of 103 million. So you have 10x. Once they get this money, of course, if they get it, 50% will go in dividends and another 50% to buying Bitcoin. This means 500 million you will get in dividends. And if you get 500 million in dividends, the current market cap will go up 5x. Right? Because you'll get 500 million in dividends. And of course, you will still have 500 million in Bitcoin. Now, here is the thing, and you have to understand this company, because if you don't understand it, you lose your money. And my prediction is that the stock prices might go up for a while, and then it will go down in the long term. You look at the revenue over the years. Let me explain why I believe the stock price will go down, and also why the lawsuits won't get any money. So look at revenue. 2022, $18 million. Losses, over 50 million. So this is not a profitable company. 2023, 23 million. The revenue has increased, and also their losses have reduced quite a lot to 5 million. But then 2024, a decline to 7.9 million, close to 8 million, and their losses have increased to 22 million. And guess who will has covered those losses so far? Shareholders. People who bought this company at the highest stock price. And then it went down. Now, let's look at their balance sheet, because here is interesting. They said they want to increase their treasury Bitcoin. Now, if you look at their total assets, are about $101 million. Total liabilities, 21 million. So, do the math, 80 million in assets. But then the next question is, what's their real assets? Because if you dig deeper, you see 30 million digital assets, Bitcoin, what they own, 1.6 million cash, 1.3 million investments. And those are the real assets you can rely on. So in total, close to $43 million assets you can rely on. So $43 million. And compare this amount with the current market cap, 103 million. So you can see that the market cap is quite higher than their real assets. Of course, they also have some 20 million in goodwill and intangible assets, but you can't rely on those. And 45 million other assets to recover from an acquisitions they made in the past. So you can't rely on this. Now, let me explain. For the moment, GNS Group, as you probably know, offers an AI educational platform. And for the moment, they have 5 million members. By the way, their paying users are much lower, around 30,000, something like that. And they expect their members to increase to 100 million by 2030. They might succeed or not. Anyway, now education is for free. Go on ChatGPT, Grok, and you search for free everything you want to learn. But let's say they might succeed to sell, to attract some people who believe that this education is the best for them. Now, why I believe that this is a total scam? First of all, if you look at the number of shares over the years from its IPO to today, this number has increased from 2 million to 64 million. This means they took money from investors to fund their business, to fund their losses, their expenses, to pay their bonuses, their wages, high wages for directors, and do acquisitions, such as LZG. So they took your money to spend it. And then, after they spent all this money, issued a lot of shares, what they said? Let's convince people to invest more in our stock. And how can we do that? By saying that we can get 1 billion from lawsuits. They want to sue, they already sued directors of LZG, the company they acquired in the past. Be aware of this. And to get $750 million. But believe me, they won't get this money at all. They won't get this money. And then another lawsuit related to naked short selling. Now, when you look at their fundamentals and their stock price, the market cap was higher in the past. It was obvious, and especially if you look at the number of shares, that the stock price would decline even more. And of course, there were some tradings, maybe illegal, who knows, but I don't think they will be able to recover this money. They might get a lower amount, quite low, if they can do that, but I don't think. And why I do believe that they won't get money from those directors? Because once they bought this company, acquired this company, they should have done the research to know what they buy, what they own, and all the documentation about this company. I don't know, after they acquire this company, they wake up and say, we have to sue those directors. If you look at this company, the revenue, quite low, revenue low, and no earnings. So why would you acquire an unprofitable company and then to sue the directors? First of all, they didn't take care of shareholders, past shareholders. They took their money and bought an unprofitable company. And this is quite bad. This is value destruction for shareholders. Because imagine, you have a business, right? And you have 2 members. In this case, 2 million. 2 members, right? You and your friend. But then, the management decides to divide your business by 64 friends. 64 people. And guess what will happen? You no longer have half of the pie, but even less because you divide it by 64. So you'll get a tiny amount, and this means dilution, value destruction. So this is dilution. So people who think that GNS Group will get 1 billion from those lawsuits, they are lying themselves. Of course, if you are a trader, you trade every day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Yes, you can make money with GNS stock. Stock price may go up for a while and then down. For sure, the stock price will go down. Mark my words. This stock price will go down because it's not sustainable. The market cap is already expensive. And if you look at the revenue and earnings, they are quite a disaster. So the stock price will go down in the long term. Mark my words. And also, they'll continue to issue more shares, especially for this reason. And as I said, you can make money as a trader if you trade by minute, by second, some ups and downs. But if you are a real investor, focus on the business, what they do and how they make money, you will never make money with this business. So GNS Group, for me, I consider it a scam. And be aware of this. Mark my words and see after 1 year what will happen to the stock price. Come to this video after 1 year. And if you want real investment ideas, go to my profile and press join, where you have access to my portfolio. See every transaction. And there you have great investment ideas. Great businesses with low risk, high return, profitable, that deliver value to shareholders. So that's it for this video. And if you have other questions, please let me know in the comments.